All right, so welcome to part three of our video series regarding the business user and what they are able to do on the platform. So in this video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you through how to create a USSD campaign. So what are the things that matters in terms of creating the USSD campaign? What do you need to have ready, and how do you need to implement that, and how do you launch it into the hand of the user? So as usual, we use Clark Bob. Gonna log in, and once you log in and you want to create a USSD campaign, the first thing to check is to look into your dashboard and to see if you have a USSD string available. As you can see here, we do have a USSD string that's available with the code um, star 145 hash. We have zero sessions, zero responses. It doesn't cost us anything. And so to be able to do that, first we'll go into the USSD service. So you need to pay attention to one thing. So if you have zero USSD sessions on this side, your USSD session or your USSD campaign won't go through. The campaign only operates once you have sessions that are available. So you can go to the USSD string. So the first element is to check that you have a USSD string. If you do not have a USSD string, you will not be able to conduct a campaign, and I'll show you how that plays out. So first we check the USSD string. So as you can see, we have a USSD string that is available to us. The status is true, so that means it's been activated. Now, what's to know here is to get a USSD string, you need to log in a USSD request. Your request would be approved, and then the admin will create a string for you that's going to be sent your way. And so, if you come to the string request, here you would see that we had a string request called Audi, the company name, obviously, and you see that the request was approved, right? And you're able to see it. And once your request has been approved, you can actually see it via email. So I'm in the mailbox, and you would see the USSD string request has been updated. And when you click on it, you say your request for a new USSD string has been approved. Approved. Our team will follow up with you shortly, right? So each time you received a USSD string, you are informed for it. And that is after you have created your request. Now, let's move into the next one, which is quite important, and it's about creating the campaign. So here you can see you have zero USSD campaign. The process for creating the campaign is very, very simple. You give it the name. We can say RD campaign 3, right? And then we select the USSD string. And you would see this is the string that we have that's available to us. Now, and then you provide the message for the wrong input. So if a user, instead of putting 1, puts 7, what happens? We put wrong input, right? So that's what we have, and then we confirm. Now, one thing to keep in mind is you cannot use the same USSD string for two campaigns. The string is attached to one campaign and one campaign only. You can update that campaign over time, but you are not to be able to do anything other than that. Um, Now, when you look at our campaign, what do we have? The status is still in draft, so we can change the name and select a different string if we have one that's available. Start menu hasn't been allocated because we haven't created a page. The number of pages obviously zero because we have nothing. In fact, you can edit or you can delete the campaign at this stage because the status is in draft. So if you look at the action, you can launch the campaign or you can remove the start menu, right? If you say launch the campaign, it tells you the campaign does not have pages. Please add pages, then try again, right? And so what would happen here? We'll go to the USSD pages and you go, okay, perfect. Now let's add the pages. Now, if you know about the USSD campaign and the pages, what would happen is you have a menu that will pop through to your phone, and then you have to act on those menus. And how do you essentially create that whole app is what we provide with the usage of pages on our platform. So you will name the page, but ideally, when you're planning your USSD campaign, plan it backwards, meaning that in order for you to start linking USSD campaigns, USSD pages, those pages need to be existent. So when we go to the page name, for instance, okay, let's create these pages. So USSD page name, right? So we'll call this page last page, last page. Okay, and we select end page. When you select end page, it simply means that the communication with the user stops at this page. If you select start menu, it means this will be the first page to be shown. So page content, it's, let's say, thank you, right? It means if you get to this page, thank you. We link this page to nothing because it's the last page, correct? So we say confirm, but that's just one page. We say, okay, what else do we need to create? Let's say hypothetically the campaign is to check which RD brand is the most is mostly loved. So we go no which RD model. So we go model choice, right? And we would say and model choice would be, let's have it, it's not an end page, it's not a start page. So the page content is what's your favorite model, right? And then we start giving options. One, RS4. Two, okay, this is the part where you need to know these are these. RS3, 3, RS1, 4, RS2, and we go, okay, then we go to the response rules. Then we say no menu item, meaning these items. So if my response is 1, still send me to the last page. If my response is 2, still send me to the last page, right? And this is because we just want to gather details. But you can see how this can be very complex. And so most USSD campaign will have more than 100 pages. And so preparing for a USSD campaign, it's something that's quite important. So we go 4, even if the choice is for last pages. It means if they press 1, they'll after that they'll go to the last page. If they press 2, 3, 4, and they would see this. And let's say this is the start menu, right? So when you land, the app will say what's your favorite model. And then we go on confirm. And perfect. Now what do we have? We have 2 pages. We have the start one, which is the model choice, as you can see here. Then we have the last one, which is the end page. And then we go back to general, and you would see the start menu, the page is model choice. The number of pages that we have is 2. The status of the campaign is still a draft. We can still change this, we can still edit this. Now let's say no, we want to actually launch the campaign. So I'll say, no, actually, let's demo this. Let's remove the start menu. So when I click on remove the start menu, you get the idea here. The start menu has been removed successfully. And you can see your number of pages remain 2, but the start menu has been removed. It's no longer there. So if you go back to your pages, you would see that, oh, there is no start menu. I need to have a start menu, right? Because it's important to have a start menu. But we put that option there because there could be instances where the start menu isn't actually the one that you is different from the one that you want. So and it's easy. I can go back to the model choice and I can decide to edit it, and I'll say, okay, you know what? This is actually a start menu, and I'll confirm. Perfect. Now it's back into start menu, and I can go back to the USSD campaigns, and when I click on it, you can see model choice is back. Now, the next action is launching the campaign. In the detailed view of the campaign that you just created, now that we have USSD pages, you can click on launch campaign. And what happens? The campaign was launched successfully, right? And there you go. Our campaign has been launched successfully. Now, one thing that's important to note here is once you can see the status activated, is that once you've launched your campaign, what's important to note here is that um, the network provider in advance might have has already set the string and it's active. If it hasn't been set, you won't be able to test the campaign. So it's very important that you get that confirmation from the network provider. Now that we have it, what's next is I want to see how my campaign is doing. Is anyone going to the campaign? And what do? I will come here on the USSD session, and you would see here that everything is empty at the moment. Right? That's because no one has gone through it. Otherwise, what you would see is what the USSD string is, what's the mobile number is, the duration that they've spent on the campaign. If there are costs allocated to it, those also would show here, and you're able to actually see how is your campaign doing, and you should be able to click on the mobile number, and that mobile number will give you the ability to see all of the other all of the responses of the users as well. So that's how you create a USSD campaign. So to recap, creating a USSD campaign is an easy and straightforward process. You need to make sure that you have a USSD string allocated to you. And once you have a USSD string allocated to you, it means that that string is also active from the mobile operators. And that means once you've created your campaign and allocated the string to it and added the pages, your campaign would operate. The second thing is once you've completed your campaign form, your campaign creation form, you have to add the pages. What's important about adding the pages is that you need to think of it as working backwards. So first, it's highly advisable that you have your plan prior to start adding the pages, and then you just add the pages onto the platform in relation to the plan that you had. And so you can link up pages based on the options that the users are selecting. And once you're happy with that, you can launch the campaign. You can also change which page becomes the startup page, the start menu, and which page shouldn't be. And if you've made a mistake, you can rectify it in that order. That's essentially everything for the USSD service. I'll see you for the next video.